What does honor mean to you? What does freedom mean to you? These questions will remain the same in each interview, but the power lies within these amazing answers. I'm Tony Reese, and it is with great honor I introduce to you the next installment of My Life Lessons Showcasing Veterans. Hi there, this is Tony Reese, and welcome to My Life Lessons Showcasing Veterans. And today I have a very special guest with me, Mr. Mahlon Fink. Mahlon, welcome to this very important project.
Thank you.
Take a moment and introduce yourself, where you served, and how long you served.
Well, my name is Mahlon Fink. I served in the United States Marine Corps. I was drafted in when I turned 18 years of age in 1943. I volunteered for the Marine Corps. If you volunteered, you could get what you wanted. Otherwise, they put draftees wherever they needed them, Army, Navy, Coast Guard, or Marines. And I served in boot camp in Parris Island, South Carolina. 6 months of guard duty at Richmond Naval Air Station in Homestead, Florida, followed by 2 months at Camp Pendleton, California, and Novice Camp Lejeune, and then 2 weeks in California. Then we were sent overseas to Hilo, Hawaii, and we were attached to the 5th Marine Division. 2 months later, the 5th Marine Division invaded Iwo Jima. I landed there. They landed at 9 o'clock, February the 19th, 1945, and I landed at 11 o'clock. I don't know why. And we were not trained frontline troops. We were working party on the beach. Why they had us there at 11 o'clock the first day while the battle was raging, I don't know. But the Admiralty don't report to private first class. And after 9 days of working on the beach, of course the beach was the front line for the first 4 days. I was a replacement into the E Company, 2nd Battalion, 26th Regiment of the 5th Marine Division, and we went to the front line, and I spent 3 days in the front lines before I was wounded. Then went on a hospital ship to Saipan, to an Army hospital. The Navy hospitals were full, then finally wound up in Pearl Harbor. And I got back with the 5th Marine Division then, who are now back at home base in Hawaii. And we were training for the invasion of Japan. If we would have invaded Japan, I would have been the first wave to land, and I probably wouldn't be here today if they hadn't dropped the atomic bomb.
Mm. Thank you very much, and thank you for your service. During that time of service, who was your inspiration?
Well, I would say John Basilone, who won the Congressional Medal of Honor on Guadalcanal because he stacked up, I think, 26 Japanese with his machine gun. And then later on, he went with us to Iwo Jima and was killed the first day and already won the Navy Cross. So he's one of the few persons, I believe, that ever got a Congressional Medal of Honor and a Navy Cross. Mm-hmm. 2 highest awards in our service.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
What was the greatest life lesson that you learned during your time of service?
Well, I would say discipline.
Mm-hmm. How so? How was it different for you entering the service and then that becoming a life lesson for you? Were you a disciplined person when you went into the service?
Oh, yes. I was 11 or 12 children.
Oh, my.
And we had nothing, and then we were in the Depression time, and so I started from nothing, so I had to do something to get ahead.
Mm-hmm. How did the service instill that as a life lesson for you, that lesson of discipline?
Well, I joined the Marines because I've considered them the best, greatest fighting force, and I tried to maintain that principle ever since. Mm-hmm. Try to do my best.
And I think you told me prior to this interview as well that you did what you were told to do.
Yep.
And followed direction.
My record is perfect.
Really?
I have a good conduct medal to prove it.
Congratulations. My goodness. How did you apply that extreme level of discipline during service. How did you carry that forward into the rest of your life?
Well, I didn't have a lot of, how shall I say, mannerism at home with 12 children, but my wife does everything according to the book, so I learned to do everything the right way and still do the best I can.
Did you also hand that to your children and
Yes.
also to work, that level of, and lesson of discipline?
My son, when he was sitting at this kitchen table, when he was at home for break-in, he went to Virginia Tech, graduated from Virginia Tech, and he said, you know, I want to raise my children the way you raised me.
Oh,
That was a good compliment.
absolutely. Absolutely. That's amazing. How did your service and that experience during that time impact your life? What did it do to you and for you?
Well, I wanted to gain the dignity and respect of everybody I dealt with,
Okay.
and I pretty well did.
How do we learn that from you? How did you do that? And if people that are going to be watching this interview, that's very important, to want to gain the dignity and respect of others. What would you tell them to do? How would you advise them? How did that happen for you?
Well, I was a chaplain of the Marine Corps League for 12 years, and if I may be so bold, they said I was the best they ever had, and I did a ministerial job, not just a chaplain job. And I have their dignity and respect.
That's amazing. And can you give us an example so that we can maybe take away what it takes? What were some of the things you had to do to gain someone's respect?
Well, I never heard my wife say a dirty word or a swear word in the whole time we're married, so she taught me to speak with the English language. You can say what you want without saying any of those dirty words in the English language.
And that's discipline too.
And discipline, right.
Okay. What does honor mean to you?
Oh, I had to come home with an honorable discharge. I couldn't have come home any other way.
And what does that mean?
Well, that I did what I was told to do. And in battle, I couldn't have turned yellow or run. I couldn't have tolerated to live with myself if I were a coward.
Did that sense of honor carry through with you then for the rest of your life?
I think so.
I'm hearing you equate honor to almost courage.
Pardon?
I'm hearing you equate honor to courage
Yes.
and to bravery.
When they said charge, we charged.
Yeah. How did that sense of that's extreme courage, did that help you as you went through the rest of your life in
Yes.
business and raising a family? Can you give us an example of how you applied that courage and bravery that you had instilled during the service in your life?
Well, we attended church regularly. I was also president of a church consistory for 5 years at one time. When we didn't have a minister, I ran the church for 5 months till the new minister took over. He was graduated from college at that time, and that was an experience.
I would imagine.
And a chaplain of the Marine Corps, I presided over 6 members' funerals where they didn't have a minister.
Such grace. That's what I see is grace. What does freedom mean to you?
We were willing to die for it. 6,800 did, and it annoys me no end to see all the protests. If I get into politics, if you don't like it here, move.
Yeah.
Don't protest. Go to some other countries, see if you have it as good.
Yeah. What a way to say that. Mahlon, thank you so much for your time today and for being part of this very special project. It has been my honor to interview you today.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
These life lessons are made possible in part by Tompkins Vist Bank, Lords and Ladies Salons, and Riverfront Federal Credit Union.